I recently got back from a 2-week trip in Japan, and while I filmed less than ever in an effort to focus on my vacation, I did film a lot of my meals, so here's a look at some of the things I ate while in Japan. On our first day there, Mao and I walked to a park near Ikebukuro Station and spotted Racine's, a brunch place with specialty coffees and a bakery too. I had waffles, bacon, sausage, incredibly creamy eggs, and a salad. Mao had some yogurt and some toast. Later that day, we found ourselves in the Shibuya Parco building, checking out the Nintendo Tokyo store, but feeling hungry. So we went down into the basement and found Nyam Squared, a Korean bistro and cafe. I had what the menu called a Korean pancake, filled with beef, leeks, and onion. It was good, but the sweet and spicy sauce took it to another level. Super delicious, but ridiculously messy to eat. Also, shout out to the pulpy pear juice I had, which was excellent. That night, we exited Shinokubo Station and stumbled across Taishu Sakaba Dance, an izakaya with Japanese and Korean cuisine. We had an assortment of skewers, fried chicken, and other foods. Everything was cheap and very, very good. The next morning, I spotted a Randy's Donuts in the station and could not resist this gigantic glazed donut. Finally, a donut my size. That afternoon, we met up with Robert and Carlos for lunch in Shinjuku at a gyukatsu restaurant, a place where you cook your own beef and have a variety of sauces to dip it in. Carlos had just recently announced he worked on music for Pokemon ZA, so I had purchased a copy in the States and brought it with us for him to sign. He was actually heading back home just a few hours later, so I'm glad we were able to cross paths again. The next day, we headed to Kyoto to see the Nintendo Museum. There's a full video on that if you're interested. But we also grabbed some food for the train ride there. I tried beef tongue for the first time, and mine also came with pickled eggplant. Mao had a miso fish bento. I believe it was mackerel. Beef tongue was very much beef, but noticeably different. A little tough, but fine. On the way back from Kyoto, I had something much simpler, just beef on rice with some veggies and egg. The next day, we met up with our mod Fossix, who happened to be in Japan at the same time. There was a local curry competition in Koenji where 1,000 yen got you a plate of rice and some tickets to try curry from 4 of the 12 or so entrants. The styles were incredibly varied, but it was all pretty delicious. Also, shout out to the one table that labeled theirs as New Orleans Gumbo Curry with shrimp and avocado. That one was a little wild. That night, we ate at a sukiya near our Airbnb in Shinjuku. It's a chain specializing in gyudon, though you can see I also have some curry here too. All this food for 1,100 yen is just wild. The next evening, we found ourselves wandering around Kabukicho and stumbled across a restaurant called Ramen Fusenka. It was small inside, but they were able to seat us quickly, and the food was absolutely delicious. At some point, I took a day to myself to hunt for video games, and I stopped at a Yoshinoya in the train station. These things are everywhere, but offer an incredible assortment of food for cheap. All of this was about $7. The next night, Brandon and I bizarrely found ourselves in an Italian restaurant where we had some smoked salmon bruschetta and an incredibly unique pizza of ham, mushroom, and egg. It was a weird combination, but it tasted good. On the way home from the restaurant, I grabbed a hot, freshly made custard taiyaki from this street-side vendor. Honestly, I think I ate 3 of these over the course of the whole trip, and they made them right in front of you. They were awesome. The next day, I joined Mao for breakfast at a coffee shop, ham and egg sandwich, and a cold black tea for me. Mao was in kit because she actually rented a bike this day and rode 50 miles. I was on my own that afternoon, so I found a place selling soba meshi, which is stir-fried noodles combined with fried rice. I can't remember the name of this place, but it was on the 8th floor of the Yodobashi Camera Building in Akihabara. When I left the building, I noticed a donut shop selling creme brulee donuts, and I absolutely had to have one. The top of the donut had a hard shell just like the dessert. It was absolutely incredible. That night, everyone met back up at 84Hashi for some of their award-winning ramen, and Robert gave a little tour to our friends who hadn't been there before. There's a lot of cool gaming stuff to see in there. The next morning, it was time for me to leave. I got up early and had breakfast with Mao at Cafe Alia, which had the softest, fluffiest French toast I have ever had in my life. No syrup needed. It was heavenly on its own. And finally, we grabbed some burgers in the Haneda airport at Moss Burger, which is another big chain in Japan. And that was it. I had a really fantastic time in Japan, as I always do. Food is one of my favorite things in the world, and Japan offers unique experiences that you're never going to find elsewhere, especially affordably. I always say that the real cost is just getting there, as eating is typically much cheaper than here in the States, and there's no tipping either. I hope this inspires more people to visit the country and have a food vacation of their own. Also, stay tuned, as we'll shortly be releasing a video of all the things we purchased in Japan and brought back home with us. Let's meet back soon, shall we?